The rise of South Korea in the global economy, from ruins to prosperity. In the aftermath of the Korean War 1950 to 1953, South Korea lay in ruins. Its economy was shattered, infrastructure decimated, and the future seemed bleak. Few could have imagined that within a few decades, this small nation would rise from the ashes to become one of the most dynamic and advanced economies in the world. South Korea's journey from poverty to prosperity is not just a story of economic development, but a tale of resilience, innovation, and strategic foresight. This transformation, often referred to as the miracle on the Han River, has made South Korea a key player in the global economy and an inspiration for developing countries worldwide. The early struggles, a war-torn nation. The Korean War left South Korea devastated, with millions of its population displaced and its economy in tatters. Agriculture was inefficient, industry was practically non-existent, and the country's GDP per capita was among the lowest in the world. In the 1950s, South Korea was heavily dependent on foreign aid, especially from the United States, for survival. The government under President Syngman struggled to build a stable economy amidst political corruption and external threats from the communist north. The country's reliance on agriculture and low-skilled labor made it vulnerable to economic instability. South Korea's early industries, such as textiles and basic manufacturing, were unable to compete globally. Yet, amid this bleak backdrop, seeds for future economic growth were sown. The leadership of Park Chung-hee, a vision for industrialization. In 1961, General Park Chung-hee came to power through a military coup, marking a turning point in South Korea's economic trajectory. Park's government recognized that South Korea could not remain dependent on foreign aid or agriculture. It wanted to become a stable and prosperous nation. His administration set out to transform South Korea into a self-reliant industrial powerhouse, focusing on economic modernization and export-driven growth. The government initiated a series of 5-year economic plans, emphasizing industrialization, infrastructure development, and education. Park's administration made a strategic decision to prioritize heavy industries, such as steel, shipbuilding, and chemicals, that would lay the foundation for South Korea's global competitiveness. The state provided loans, subsidies, and tax breaks to businesses that aligned with these goals. One of Park's most significant policies was the establishment of government-backed conglomerates, known as chaebols. These family-owned business empires, such as Samsung, Hyundai, LG, and SK, became engines of economic growth. With the government's backing, chaebols expanded rapidly into industries like electronics, automobiles, and construction, gaining a competitive edge in global markets. Export-driven growth and the rise of South Korean brands. In the 1970s and 1980s, South Korea transitioned from an agriculture-based economy to an export-driven industrial economy. The government incentivized businesses to focus on international markets, particularly the United States and Europe. South Korean products, initially considered low-quality and cheap, gradually improved in quality and technological sophistication, gaining recognition in global markets. Samsung, for example, started as a trading company but expanded into electronics, shipbuilding, and construction, becoming a global leader in technology and innovation. Hyundai, originally a construction company, developed into one of the world's leading car manufacturers. These companies did not merely export products. They built global brands that became synonymous with reliability, quality, and cutting-edge technology. By the late 1980s, South Korea had joined the ranks of the Asian Tigers, a group of countries known for their rapid industrialization and high growth rates. The country's GDP was growing at an impressive pace, and its exports were fueling the economy. South Korea had transformed itself from one of the poorest nations to a major player in the global economy. Technological advancements and innovation, a knowledge economy. South Korea's rise to economic prominence was not just about manufacturing and exports. It was also about innovation and technology. The country's government invested heavily in education and research and development (R&D), recognizing that human capital was essential for sustained economic growth. By the 1990s, South Korea had begun to shift towards a knowledge-based economy, with an emphasis on high-tech industries such as semiconductors, telecommunications, and information technology. One of the most significant developments in South Korea's technological rise was the government's decision to focus on the semiconductor industry. Companies like Samsung and SK Hynix invested heavily in developing cutting-edge memory chips and processors, quickly becoming global leaders in this field. By the 2000s, South Korean companies dominated the global semiconductor market, providing the essential components for a wide range of electronic devices, from smartphones to computers. South Korea also became a pioneer in the telecommunications industry. The country was one of the first to roll out broadband internet nationwide and develop advanced mobile networks. South Korea's fast internet infrastructure and tech-savvy population made it a hub for digital innovation, with companies like Naver and Kakao leading the way in online services and social media. Globalization and free trade agreements. South Korea's integration into the global economy was further accelerated by its active participation in trade agreements. In the 1990s and 2000s, South Korea signed a series of free trade agreements (FTAs) with major economies, including the United States, the European Union, and China. These agreements opened up new markets for South Korean goods and services, helping the country to become one of the world's leading exporters. The 2012 Korea-United States Free Trade Agreement (KORES) FTA, for example, significantly boosted trade between the two countries. South Korean cars, electronics, and machinery gained easier access to the U.S. market, while American agricultural and consumer products found new opportunities in South Korea. These trade deals not only increased exports, but also encouraged foreign investment, further strengthening South Korea's economy. Overcoming challenges, the 1997 Asian financial crisis and beyond. South Korea's economic success has not been without challenges. One of the most significant setbacks came during the 1997 Asian financial crisis, which hit the country hard. The South Korean won collapsed, and many of the country's banks and businesses faced bankruptcy. The government was forced to seek a bailout from the International Monetary Fund (IMF), which came with stringent austerity measures and economic reforms. However, South Korea emerged from the crisis stronger. The government implemented sweeping reforms, including restructuring the chaebols, improving corporate governance, and liberalizing financial markets. These measures helped South Korea recover quickly and set the stage for its continued growth in the 21st century. Cultural power, the Korean wave, and soft power. In addition to its economic and technological achievements, South Korea has become a cultural powerhouse in recent years, further enhancing its global influence. The Korean wave, or Hallyu, refers to the global popularity of South Korean culture, including music, movies, television dramas, and fashion. K-pop, led by global sensations like BTS and Blackpink, has taken the world by storm, while South Korean films such as Parasite have won international acclaim. This cultural export has added a new dimension to South Korea's global presence. Hallyu has not only boosted tourism and consumer demand for South Korean products, but has also strengthened the country's soft power, allowing it to wield influence in international diplomacy and global affairs. Challenges ahead: aging population and economic inequality. Despite its remarkable rise, South Korea faces significant challenges in maintaining its economic growth. The country's population is aging rapidly, with one of the lowest birth rates in the world. This demographic shift poses a threat to South Korea's workforce and economic productivity. Moreover, economic inequality and youth unemployment remain pressing issues, with many young South Koreans struggling to find stable, well-paying jobs in an increasingly competitive market. The government is working to address these challenges through policies aimed at boosting innovation, supporting small and medium-sized enterprises (SMEs), and encouraging greater participation of women in the workforce. South Korea is also investing in future industries such as green technology and artificial intelligence, positioning itself as a leader in the global push towards sustainable development. Conclusion: a model for growth and innovation. South Korea's rise in the global economy is a testament to the power of strategic planning, innovation, and resilience. From the ruins of war, the country has built a prosperous, dynamic economy that competes at the highest levels of global trade and technology. Its success serves as a model for other nations striving to overcome poverty and build sustainable, high-tech economies. As South Korea continues to face new challenges in the 21st century, its legacy of innovation, adaptability, and determination suggests that it will remain a key player in the global economy for years to come.